winning these races. It's not easy, and I never said it was. And like, you're acting like it is, but it's not. you know, and people were just like, yeah, but it might happen. I'm like, okay, it might. I'm gonna try. Whatever.
What can you tell us about this partnership with Barilla?
Well, depends how much we want to get into it, but I Barilla is Barilla was my first sponsor that I've ever had
Yeah.
outside of kind of the immediate world of ski racing. It was about, I think, 12 years ago now that I first sat down with the owner, president, CEO, in a small town on the kind of on the border of Austria and Italy. And we just basically had a coffee. I think I had a hot chocolate and
Yeah.
just chatted. It was just like, hey, let's just see, do our personalities vibe? And from that day, I think I got, Brill is my head sponsor on my helmet, and we have kind of the stickers or the paint on the helmet. I think I put the sticker on my helmet the day after my very, very first World Cup podium.
Hmm.
So Barilla has been with me literally since the beginning. We've been partnered for every single World Cup win that I've ever had in my career. So as much as I reset the record this last year or through the course of my career, um, that's one that's like something I so much attribute to the partners I've had along the way, especially those who have been there from the beginning. Um, and now, after having gone through so much together, and especially these last couple of years with COVID, and this is the entire world. I mean, COVID, the pandemic,
Yeah.
um, for me personally, the loss of my father
Hmm.
and everything that follows something like that. I think we've all experienced a level of isolation that is just, it's kind of hard to come out from. And there's actually studies that have been done, and Barilla did their own research about how people are impacted, just like sharing meals. How does that come into play? Are
Hmm.
people getting back together in social scenes to have meals together? And it's like 65% of people are eating alone more than they ever have. And this is, after the pandemic kind of settled, and we're thinking we're all getting back to our social scenes and social norms, and it's not really the case. And Barilla is trying to find a way to help people be together again, help people find togetherness again. And trust me, like, I'm kind of an introvert
Yeah.
at heart. I tend, like, big social gatherings and things, is those are things I tend to need to, like, energy wise, I need to recover from them. But so, and this, especially with what I do and kind of being in the public eye and racing and the stress and the pressure that goes along with it for, you know the entire year, really. From not I'm home like 7 weeks out of the year total, so for
Hmm.
all the travel and everything that goes along with it, I'm basically in hotel rooms, often by myself, sometimes too tired to just go to dinner with my team or the people around me, so eating room service alone. And the idea that we can have an impact on people, just giving a little bit of extra inspiration to take that step to be together. Like, one of the things I crave the most when I'm traveling is to be able to be at home with my family and just have a meal together and talk
Hmm.
and tell stories and laugh. And that is one of the most important times that we have to share meaningful moments together. So that's kind of the long and short of this whole project. And I'm really, as you can tell, I'm really happy to be part of it.
Yeah, it's great to hear that Barilla has been with you since the beginning and doing something like this, especially with everything that's going on, as you mentioned. That has to be great as well. So, how has training been, and what's the biggest thing you need to do in order to have success this upcoming season?
Training has been good.
Yeah.
It's been really quite good. I just got back. I just came straight to New York City from Chile. I was at a ski camp for
Mm,
the last really about a month. And it's been really good training, but a little bit of a struggle with weather. We've had a lot of snow, which is normally a great thing for skiing,
yeah.
but as ski racers, we're very particular and it's like,
Yeah.
please, we need snow, but not too much. We want it to be hard conditions as well. And we get really picky about it, which beggars can't be choosers, but
Yeah.
we try anyway. So we've been a little bit kind of basically battling really, really big snowstorms and trying to get through all the extra snow down to a surface that we can train on. But on the days of good training, it's been really good. And I feel strong, I feel fit physically and mentally, although that's sort of a weird thing to say because like everybody feels mentally fit until they don't. It's just that's part of life is like ups and downs and good days and bad days. So I expect this season is going to bring basically I'm expecting the unexpected. It's like I don't necessarily know what this season is going to bring for me. I know my skiing is good. I feel good. I feel I'm getting more and more excited every day for the race season to start, but I know that it's going to bring a level of stress. I know going into this season with um, the title, the winningest ski racer of all time title it's going to carry its own kind of burden probably, and I'm hoping and working on being able to handle that and race with that, not as a burden, but as more of a gift, if that makes sense.
Oh, of course. Yeah, I definitely understand that. I was gonna, ask you about, the 88 World Cup wins that you have now, and being this is being your first season that you're the most decorated skier. So, looking back at, breaking the record earlier this year, um, you know, before that race or before that competition, was your mindset a little bit different, or was it pretty much the same as any other competition you have during the season?
Yeah, this season was kind of interesting because I sort of went through a couple different phases where, obviously not it's not obvious actually, but
Yeah.
I started out, I don't know, I was somewhere in the 70s at the beginning of the season and started off the season with 2 wins. And then everyone was like, "Oh wow, if you go at this rate, you're gonna reset the record this season." And I was
Hmm.
kind of thinking, "Come on, that's ridiculous. I'm still 8 wins away or something like that."
Yeah.
Um, and then each race, I had a couple races where I didn't win. I wasn't even on the podium. And then people thought, oh, well, okay, let's slow down. Maybe it's not going to happen. And then I had a string of races where I won each race, sort of through like after Christmas and through that period of time. And then people were, it's just like everybody kind of reacts to the way it's going. And I was kind of doing the same, but I was really trying to focus on just my skiing and not think about the record at all, not worry about it. But as we got closer and closer and closer, more people talked about it more often. And I remember being at my 85th victory and I was going to race. We had a race the next day, and all of the media, everything was about, it wasn't about, what did you accomplish today? How do you feel about it? It was all about, it's going to happen tomorrow. How do you feel about that? It was very, future oriented, something that hadn't happened yet. And I was trying to tell everybody, it might not happen tomorrow. I'm tired. There's a
Yeah.
lot of things that can change. Like this never a given that you win a race. Winning these races, it's not easy. And I never said it was. And like you're acting like it is, but it's not. Um, you know? And people were just like, yeah, but it might happen. I'm like, okay, it might. I'm gonna try. I whatever. And that was it just got to the point where so much talk about it that I really finally started to cave and think about it and think like, I hope it just happens this race because, because that would just, then it would be done. Then it would be over and we'd stop talking about it and I could focus again. Well, there were a couple races where I kind of was thinking that way. It didn't happen. There's a lot of like, I still skied well, things were fine. It didn't happen. And then I finally was so tired of thinking that way that I just said, I don't care. I don't care if I never win another race. I don't care if I spend the rest of my life at 85 and 86 is a record and I never get that record. I seriously don't care. I didn't want to do this and like reset this in the first race. This wasn't the goal.
Mm-hmm.
And as soon as I really honestly gave up caring about it, that's when it happened. So it's just kind of this idea of this mental, it's like you've got to set your expectations kind of low in life and keep your standards really, really high. Like the way that your actions, your performance, that needs to be high, and your expectations for what's going to happen, what people will say, how it's going to play out. You can't have that at all because it's never going to go the way you think it will.
Of course. And, you mentioned how healthy and fit you are heading into this season. Do you see yourself, not necessarily this season, but just in the future, getting 100 World Cup wins?
I mean, I don't see it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
know that if we're just being realistic,
Yeah.
it for sure could happen.
Yeah.
I just can't imagine what that would look like, how it would feel. I don't know. I mean, it was the same thing for 87. It
Yeah.
was just not something that I could picture. And then it did happen. And it's almost like, yeah, I don't know. I still can't wrap my mind around that in a way. So I don't even know what to say about 100.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, right now I'm thinking about the shape of the pasta because after 87, Barilla did a limited edition pasta
Yeah.
as like a kind of an auction item, and they shaped it in the shape of 87. So it was the 87 pasta. And now I'm just thinking about like 100 pasta.
Oh yeah, that would be something.
That's where my mind goes though. Like
Oh
when
yeah,
people
I
say
understand.
goat, I immediately hear baby goats buying,
Yeah.
like screaming. That's where my mind goes in life.
Oh no, yeah, I love it. That's awesome. But you know, when you broke the record, Lindsey Vonn came out and said you're the best skier to ever live, and I know that she's been a mentor of yours. So, how's that relationship between you and Lindsey been over the years?
Having people like Lindsey and some of the really greatest athletes, biggest inspirations for me say things like that. It's wild because I still feel like so much of the young, like the 5, 6, 7-year-old girl who's starstruck by all my favorite ski racers and favorite athletes in other sports as well. And where I am now, I've gotten to race against some of my biggest idols in the sport. I've gotten to have meals with some of my biggest idols in sport in general. I've had so many incredible opportunities because of ski racing, and um, being in a position to do anything in the sport that gets acknowledged or recognized by fellow athletes, and it's just such great competitors. And I mean, Lindsey being one of the absolute prime examples. It's incredible. It's flattering, and it's truly an honor.
Absolutely. Well, Mikaela, thank you so much for your time. I really do appreciate it. Good luck to you this season and continued success to you.